Hello, I am Sandy Shook. I am a mortgage advisor. I can help people get into homes and I can help refinance and get into investment homes. But today I'm here to start talking with people and actually having coffee with people, literally coffee, if you want to know what's really in there. And my mission for Coffee with Sandy has always been to be somebody who can bring hope and happiness to people. And I am actually expanding that a little bit more now because I want to actually bring the hope for others to know that what they're into now, what they're looking at now for their life is actually something that they can look for, not so much as a disappointment, but to know that they actually can look at their dreams and their hopes and know that life changes in an instant and you just kind of make the best of what you can. So with me today, I have Ellen Rhoads. She has become a fast friend of mine. And of course, I'm going to get emotional because she was one of my first clients in the last year that we've become pretty good friends. So welcome and thank you.
Hi, I'm Ellen Rhoads. I'm new to Colorado, and luckily I had a mortgage person who was so awesome and a life coach. So Sandy and I have become fast friends since I moved here, and I'm very, very lucky to have met her.
And what I really wanted to bring across the table to those that I have sitting across with me is really knowing who you are and where you came from. So just because I know that you're a wonderful person, not many will know unless you're willing to talk about your path of where you've come from. So, and are you just moved here from Vegas? Where
Yes.
are you originally from?
That is a hard question for me still. Even at this age, it's a hard question. So I'm a Navy brat. I spent most of my childhood traveling. So from Hawaii to the most northern tip of Scotland, for example. So probably home would be Fairfax, Virginia. That's where my dad retired.
Okay.
And so that's kind of where life in this country started.
So tell me a little bit about your parents. So.
Oh, I had the best.
Yeah?
I did.
Oh, that's so cool. So did I though. So.
Well, that's good. So we both did.
Yeah.
So my dad was career Navy, ROTC in college, and then right into the Navy in 20 years. And my mom, her aspiration was to be a great mom and a good Navy wife, which she was. She was dedicated to that. They were high school sweethearts.
Oh.
And they loved each other so much, and us too, but them first. And they just took us everywhere they went. Yeah. They're going to the play, they're going to an opera, we went with them.
You went with?
Yeah,
oh,
always.
Oh, that's really neat. So they kind of gave you more cultural
they really did.
Experiences.
It was all about adventures and experiences. So whatever country we went to, Dad was always, don't be the loud, ugly American. And it was just, doing what the local people do, shopping where they shop, eating where they eat. It was a lot of fun.
What was your favorite port, I guess? Is that what they call it when you're?
I guess.
When you're not in the United States, where do you end up?
My dad was commander of the base at the most northern tip of Scotland at the communications base. Wow. And that was great. We ran as kids in packs. And like I said before, when the street lights came on, that's when we were expected home. So.
And do you have siblings then?
Yep, I have an older brother and older sister.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you were the youngest. Were you
I know, a little bit. Well, actually, it's spoiled isn't the right word, because to some degree, my mom was like, look, nobody's bleeding. With my brother, it was every cut, every time he fell down, there's a boo-boo. By the time the third one comes along, no one's bleeding, nobody's dead, go out and play. Yeah. Here's a Band-Aid.
Your siblings then?
Yes.
Are you pretty close now, or?
We are pretty close. My sister and I are very close. She is my best friend. She's the one person who knows absolutely everything about me.
And that would be that was one of my questions, sorry.
Oh, well, see, good. I told you I did my homework.
Yeah. So she knows everything about you.
Pretty much.
Mhm.
My brother's he's several years older, and he's, we just haven't spent that much time together, honestly. He moved when we were living in Scotland. He went to high school in England, and from that point on, he was kind of always away. But he's good people, so.
Yeah. So because of your family history and you traveling around a lot, what about holidays? What kind of, do you remember any like specific holidays of how your family celebrated? I don't know. I mean, we never talked about religion, so I don't know. Are you Christian?
I am.
Do you celebrate Christmas?
I am. Overseas it was great. My mom was very Christmas, Valentine's Day, Easter. I'm trying to remember.
Valentine's Day, really?
Well, she's very cute about that. My mom used to do the best gifts, and even when they were just little things. And you'd wake up and there would be Easter basket. The one that my sister and I laugh about all the time is we were in Scotland, most northern tip of Scotland, right up there. And we got butterfly nets for Easter.
And it's kind of cold there, right?
Usually, yeah. But, you get used to that. But it's the kind of thing, every year it was something different. My mom would always go out of her way, have little surprises hiding around things. And then at Christmas, there would be, and especially in England, people were so blown away by everything. There would be these mounds of presents under the tree. Now, she wrapped everything, batteries, socks, everything. And stockings were always tangerines and nuts at the bottom.
Oh, okay. To make it heavy.
Yes. Make it look full.
Yeah. So with my family tradition for Christmas, we used to have, we did family exchanges on Christmas Eve.
Oh, nice.
And then the older kids would get to go to Christmas Eve Mass because it was always so, really, I mean, it was midnight Mass when I was growing up. Now it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. It's like, really? But because
midnight Mass is for young people. We eat dinner at 4, we go to church at 4.
Yes, exactly. And it is quite convenient now because 4:00 is great, because then you go to dinner and it's like dawn. But we would have, and that's kind of the tradition that I carried on, is Christmas Eve we would go to church and then we go to dinner and then we'd do the family exchange gifts. And then Christmas Day, Santa still comes. And that's always kind of the special thing, that I always want to continue. But Easter Bunny too. I have my 32-year-old and my 19-year-old, hunting around the house for eggs that they may or may not have decorated. So I'm assuming that that's kind of what your mom did too.
We did. And when we were overseas, we didn't have extended families, so
it
was always us, and then whoever was on the base, whatever kids were there, for the holidays. But yeah, it very much with the traditions. And then when we moved back to DC, in our case, we went to Midnight Mass once at the big cathedral downtown in DC, which was beautiful, but there were so many people. You're so far away.
Yeah.
So,
did you get a seat, or was it standing room only?
No, we got a seat, but it was very, very, very far.
Yes. What did you believe about yourself when you were younger?
I think I believed I could fly. I mean, to use a cliche, I pretty much had a lot of confidence in myself. Yeah, I really could do nothing. We did, we tried dancing and Highland dancing, ballet. And they were like, please don't come.
No, they
did not break my confidence.
That, did they?
Well, I think it was implied. No, seriously, I really do. I just had this, not arrogance, but confidence in myself. So I rode horses and did things that, I might normally have been afraid to do, but for some reason, my parents felt like I could do it, so I figured they can't be wrong, right?
That's great. Was there anything that you did try and you went, yeah?
Dancing.
Okay, but what kind of dancing?
I can still do part of the Highland fling. I won't, but I can.
Highland fling.
It's Scottish dancing.
Oh,
Highland
okay.
dancing. So
when you were in second grade, what was it that you wanted to be?
It was such a long time ago.
Well, we don't have to talk about
Okay,
age.
good. So was only 20 years ago.
Yes.
Honestly, this is going to sound so lame. I had such a great childhood. I didn't have any aspirations of doing anything other than playing all day until the streetlights came on, and that was pretty much it for me back then.
Right. So what was your favorite class in high school? Do you remember?
English or drama,
Oh,
both.
were you in plays?
I was never really good enough to be in a play, but I loved doing stage crew.
Oh, cool.
And one time when the stage was turning, we didn't get off fast enough, so technically I was in that play.
So Hawaii. Was that your high school years, or where'd you spend your high school?
Fairfax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
And what was it after high school when you graduated? Did you have like a career path in mind?
I wish I did. I honestly, I always envied those people that said, I want to be a doctor or a lawyer or a marine biologist or something, right? And I had nothing. So I just kind of started college, realized I wasn't quite ready for that. I wanted to get out in the world and get a job and find a place to live, which, by the way, I did not do. I lived with my parents for the next 5 years.
Okay, so you took a deep sigh. And that's what I've always told even my boys, just get through high school. High school is probably, in my opinion, I think it's the hardest 4 years of your life.
Yes, I would have to agree with you.
Okay.
It's horrible. People are horrible. You have people who are good at things, but that are not nice people. And I mean, everybody's trying to figure out what they're going to do with their lives and who they are and who they want to be. And the ones that start out with the advantages, they're, attractive or popular or good at sports or all the things that, back then most of us were not.
Mm-hmm. And that you wanted to try.
Right.
Yeah.
So they started out with an advantage. But I always have to hope in the back of my mind that when they get to college, when we blossomed, they're like, holy crap, I'm not the big fish anymore.
Yes. And I think that's one of the things that I look at now after being out for so long. Coming off to Colorado from Minnesota and making different careers out of the opportunities that may have been given to me, but may have been, because the circumstance didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out. But at least to know that, we're doing the best we can, and we still have a lot of people that are here supporting us. Mm-hmm. Even if they're not in the general vicinity. I think it's great to know that, the hope is there and not to give up. But high school was definitely, life is hard, period. So what did you have a job in high school?
I did. I worked at sporting goods stores, believe it or not.
Oh.
I am not athletic in any way, shape, or form, but I kind of morphed into that and found that I really enjoyed it. So through high school and then after that, it was really just a lot of retail.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So.
All right. Well, cool. People do have a little bit of aspirations when you went to college, you thought that you knew what you wanted to do. What changed at that point? And you said that you realized that college wasn't for you. Was it just because it was boring, or you just couldn't, what you went to school for?
Right? You want me to do my degree?
Not the degree.
Major?
Yes, your major.
I'll just keep throwing words out. Catch the ones you want.
So was it the major that you chose that you weren't very interested in? What was the major that you selected?
Honestly, it was psychology.
Oh, okay.
It was just one of those things I was always interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But college, coming around out of high school, it was fun to a point, but I didn't go away to school. I had no desire. My sister and my brother both went away.
Mm-hmm.
My sister used to talk about people borrowing her things, which would not have made me a happy person at all. I would have things under lock and key, which apparently you can't do when you share a dorm with someone. So
Yes.
that was out.
Yes.
I just wasn't quite ready for the, I think the intensity. I really wanted to get life going, and it felt like it was just more of the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I went back to college about 10 years later when I loved it. I loved going to school, and I was working full time at the same time, but I loved going to school, learning new things, being actually able to apply what I was learning to my job, which was very cool.
And your job was at that time what?
Well, I had a couple in between, but I worked for the same company for a very long time.
Okay.
But by the time I graduated, I was a contract administrator. So I started out as an admin specialist. But you know, it's one of those things, like when you work for a company for a long time, and nobody does that anymore, I don't think. But and you have great mentors. I really had opportunities that came up throughout the course by working hard or by opening, a few doors for myself in the company and volunteering for things, and people would hire me or promote me to do other things in the company. So that really worked out well. That was a lot of fun.
So what you're saying then is that you had a lot of pivotal moments in your life that really changed where you thought you were going, because somebody actually stepped in to help you move in a different direction. Are there any of those that you wish you could have done differently?
I think I wish I had taken other people's advice more initially.
Are you saying you were stubborn at the time?
Maybe. I felt very independent when I really didn't know anything. It was like, man. But when you're in your 20s, you've got the ego behind it, and you're like, bring it on. I can do whatever I need to do, and you figure it out. So
I've often said that from just going to networking groups, there's been questions asked, what would you tell your 20-some-year-old self? And I've often have said, I wish I could look at my 20-some-year-old self at the age that I'm at now and go, remember her? It's okay to take chances, and it's okay to make mistakes, because those mistakes are things that you learn from. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never going to do that ever again. Or I will never work for somebody like that ever.
Right.
These are the things you learn. Or, you work for somebody great, and you're like, man, that's who I want to be. That's how I want to be a leader.
Yeah. So then, how did you end up in Vegas?
That's a great question.
I come up with some good ones.
You do, actually. I'm very impressed. It was one of those things. My husband and I started thinking about where would we want to retire someday. And this job opportunity came up for Las Vegas. And it's like, what do you think? Let's go. 28 days later, our house was sold, and we were on our way out to Vegas. So.
Wow. That's awesome. And how long were you in Vegas then?
About 17 years.
Holy moly, 17 years.
Yeah.
I guess I forgot that. And then Colorado.
I see, I'm stacking up these years now, so my age is going to be very obvious by the end for anyone doing their math, right?
Right. So then you came to Colorado.
Yes.
And that was out of the blue?
Pretty much, actually. It was another one of those where I needed to make a change. Things were getting a little stagnant in Las Vegas, and I just decided I was going to make a move. I knew a few people here, so my house sold in the first 5 minutes, which was a bummer because the real estate agent promised me I'd have 30 days.
Wow.
So yeah, and the next thing I knew, I was here.
Wow.
And buying a house.
And that was just in the fall.
June. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you had a summer already here. And
yes.
When I was walking the dog this morning, I'm thinking, I keep telling Ellen, this is just the worst of it. This is the worst of it. And yet every weekend I swear we had snow, and it's not January anymore. So.
Well, so far I think I'm building up some good shoveling muscles.
So what kind of things do you, when you were in Vegas, because you were out there for as long as you were,
yes,
miss it a little, or have you gone to Cripple Creek?
No, I haven't, but I wouldn't mind. So if you get the trip,
that'd be a nice trip. Okay.
I really don't. It was one of those things. My husband really loved to play, and so I take a little bit of money in a book, and make him buy me dinner.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the extent of it. But.
What other things did you do when you were out there? I know that you had car trips.
Yes, we did take a lot of road trips. So we had a couple of Corvettes. It's a great place to drive. So there were a lot of driving trips. It's like, do you want to go to Utah for lunch? Sure.
Wow. Right now you were in transition.
In transition, yes.
So what is it that you are looking for now?
Honestly, my biggest goal is to find some place where I can really make a difference, where I can achieve something and feel like I've accomplished something. You know, there was a time when I wanted to climb the corporate ladder, and I really, every opportunity, I said yes before the question was finished.
Wow.
And now I'm at the point where, you know what, I had some great mentors. I'd like to be a good mentor for somebody.
Mhm.
You know, I'd like to help a company grow or be successful. And it doesn't have to be about glory and growth anymore. It has to be really about accomplishment for me now. So that's where I am now.
Yeah.
But I think from a job perspective, and this has been one of these interesting things when you're job hunting, it's very introspective, way too introspective.
Yes.
But I think, you know, as I've thought about it, our generation is actually in a really good place because we came from almost no technology. I mean, computers were in giant rooms with punch-up cards.
Yes.
And if you dropped them and then you lost your order, the whole thing was stolen.
I remember that.
And so we have had to adapt to technology through business with every step versus people now who were born with it. Let's face it, you know, there's a tablet in every baby's hands. And I think there's value to both. But I think it just shows that we have had to learn and grow every step of the way and haven't been able to take a lot of things for granted.
Yeah.
That I think people do now, which and they're awesome things.
Yeah.
But I do think it makes us more flexible.
I agree. I think a lot of the things that those that are in business now, they have a lot of the searching tools that we never had before. So, you know, taking a book and
Do you remember
having to research it.
verifying resources? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, that's the one
Yes.
pet peeve I have these days. And I know this makes me sound really old. But if you're going to put something in a paper or in a presentation or you're going to explain something, make sure you know where that came from.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can't just go to Wikipedia, you know, that's not
Right.
a solid source. We grew up having to go to the back of the book and, you know,
Yes.
write down all our references. So
Yeah.
I think that's an advantage,
Mm-hmm.
being able to do things manually.
What else do you like to do then?
I walk dogs. I do a lot of dog walking.
Okay.
But walking is kind of my zen. When I'm really ticked off about something, when I'm stressed about something, I go for a walk.
That's cool. And I've actually now have seen you at networking events, which, you know, of course, you know,
Thanks to you.
Well, no, it was thanks to Kathy because the first time she invited you, it never even dawned on me. Oh, well, you know, helping people to get to know people in the community. When I joined the Tri-Lakes Chamber, I never really thought about, you know, what I needed to know as just a person who lives in the area. What's going on in the industries, you know, around me and the communities around me. So, you know, I think it's kind of like it was a light bulb that went off when I saw you at that first networking event. Because it's like, it's not just even about, you know, you're trying to find a job. No, you're trying to get out in the community because you're new here and you are trying to get to know people that maybe your next little, I don't know, group of women or, you know, business owners that might actually have an opportunity for you to build them up or for them to build you up and make your life differently.
All of those are good things.
Yeah. So I have more questions for you, but one of the things that I would like to know is, what are 3 things that you would like people to remember you by?
3 things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness gracious. I could talk all day,
Yes.
which is probably one of the 3 things people would say about me. I like to think that I think I'm kind and generous and kind of a little bit of pain in the ass, but, you know, in a good way. Pain in the butt somehow.
So with somebody that, let's just say we have somebody that is viewing this for the first time and not really feeling a whole lot of hope out there for, you know, the career that they selected.
Or that selected them.
That selected them, yes. What would be one of the first things that you would actually give them as far as maybe not even advice, but just kind of what you've gone through that might help them think about things a little differently?
Well, you know, it is a difficult thing. So I worked for one company for 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got laid off and went, woohoo! Because I got a year of severance. And I took every second of that severance.
Yes.
I earned that. But what I realized is at the end of that severance period, or shortly thereafter, my husband passed away.
Mm.
And now I have no job, no second income, no second person, no first person, and had to reinvent myself. And you just do. You put one foot in front of the other. You look for opportunities. You try something new. If you don't care for it, you try something else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of backwards because it's sort of the way you start your career.
Yeah.
But you just have to be flexible. And I think if you can be flexible, if you can be open to opportunities, and it gives you the boost to move forward.
Yeah.
So even though there may be soul-crushing things going on inside, there's still something that's happening,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still going forward. So I think that's the most important thing. And having a positive attitude.
Yeah.
You know?
And how do you get that positive? Do you do that through your reading or from your walking? Because I know personally, it's like there's different things, you know. I mean, meeting great friends, you know, that's, you know, anytime I can get laughter, you know, in my day.
It's medicine, it really is.
Yes.
You know, that's the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to find it within yourself. You have to find those few little things that bring you peace or comfort or joy or whatever they are. In my case, it's my dogs and my cat.
Okay.
I'm still very grateful to have had dogs because you have to get out and walk every day. You can't just phone it in. Let's face it, with a cat, you can kind of phone it in.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, the food bowl's always full, you know, you want to cuddle every now and then, but dogs, they need that, and that's what keeps you going. That's what kept me going.
Yeah. So Ellen, you and I already prepared this little fun fact. We were going to ask a question to one of the callers that agreed to take a phone call from us today. So I'm going to spin the little wheel, and we'll see who we're going to call. I'm so excited. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is Sonia Emp who will be calling. And do you want to ask the question, or would you like me to?
I think you should ask the question.
All right. Hi, Sonia. This is Sandy and Ellen. Ellen is a guest of mine on the Coffee with Sandy. And you agreed to answer any question we came up with. And so you were on a little wheel that I spun, and your name came up. So wondering if you have just a quick second to answer a question for us.
I sure do.
All right. What was the question again?
Okay, nice. You can always start off with, what's your deepest, darkest secret?
That's right.
Someone's dismantled and they're like, oh, okay, anything else is going to be fine after this.
And then date of birth and social security number as well, please.
So the question is, do you have a bucket list? Or are you as afraid as what Ellen is to go to her deathbed going, oh my God, there's so many things I didn't get to do yet?
I failed at my own list.
You know, I do have a bucket list, and I've been fortunate that I've been able to accomplish part of it, but going forward, I would like to, so I'm into genealogy, done my family research starting when I was 14, and I would like to go to do a heritage tour.
Oh, fun.
That sounds fun.
So I'd like to go overseas to several different places. Now, I can't do it all because I am a bona fide Heinz 57, so genetically, I'm comprised of pretty much everything, which probably might mean why I love everyone. But I would love to do a heritage tour. I'd love to do some more traveling, which fits in with my want for wanderlust. But, you know, everybody is in different cultures and different settings. I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah, and Ellen, I actually will introduce you to Ellen because she has a lot of experience in that because she's a Navy brat. Oh, Was I supposed to say that?
That's a Navy brat's badge of honor. The whole thing that don't like the brat thing.
Yeah. So anyway, I appreciate you taking our call and answering that question for us. It was great to get that information out of you. So we will make sure that that list keeps happening for you and we can get you started on it.
Yay.
All right. Thank you.
Talk to you guys later.
Bye. All right. So I guess our time is up. But I do appreciate you taking as much time as you have out of your day to meet with me here and talk with me a little bit about your history and what gets you through your day and the hope that you can give others. And of course, I am your lender.
Yes, you are.
But
And I refinanced her eventually.
Yes. But, and that's how we met initially. And I do appreciate the friendship that you are willing to build with me. So, and I don't know if there's anything that you want to share, because I know that there's things that you would like to get out there to the people.
Well, as you know, I am searching for a new job at the moment. So I think anybody who's looking to grow their business and needs someone to run a strong program for them, I am your girl. Old broad, whatever you want to say. No, other than that, though, I really appreciate this. It's been really a pleasure getting to know you. And it's
Great.
been a lot of fun.
Thank you. And so how can people reach you then?
You can reach me at ellen.rhoads@yahoo.com. So it's ELLEN.RHOAD as in David, S as in Sam,
Great.
at yahoo.com.
Or otherwise you can reach me, Sandy, and I can give you Ellen's information as well. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for the next guest that I have coming up soon.